Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is rated E for everyone 10 and up by the ESRB. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Classic Mode. In the last episode, we fought as one with Chrom, Lucina, and Robin. And in this episode, we're going to move on to the final of the Melee introduced fighters, Mr. Game & Watch. He is not an Echo fighter at all to any of the previous fighters. I state this because Pichu was an Echo fighter of Pikachu, Falco an Echo of Fox, Marth was unique, but Roy was kind of an Echo of Marth, Young Link was an Echo of Link, Ganondorf an Echo of Captain Falcon, and Mewtwo was kind of his own being. So in a sense, Peach, Bowser, Ice Climber, and Zelda, and Sheik at the time and Mewtwo and Mr. Game & Watch were the only real new faces with new abilities. So really half of the new characters. We're going to move on and get started with Mr. Game & Watch. He has some unique colors, though I'm not a huge fan of them. They feel very dilated. Like, this is supposed to be yellow, but he looks more green. This is blue. This is supposed to be like an off teal, a light teal, a dark green with a light green bat lining, and a white with a gray lining to contrast his white form, black form. And there's a bit of controversy with Mr. Game & Watch as well. Just before the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the developers actually had to adjust one of his animations because people deemed it really offensive. That one would be his side smash. What the heck? That one with the torch. He initially had a feather in his head, on his head, making him look a little bit more native, which was to be inspired by one of the original Mr. Game & Watch levels where you are a cowboy fighting against natives. It's kind of like cowboys versus Indians. However, people thought that would be too racially bad, especially for a high volumed game like Super Smash Bros. So they edited the animation by getting rid of that feather, but keeping the face, making it look more, I want to say natural. Natural in both quotation marks / question mark. Natural as natural could be in this kind of game. Except I totally did an up smash there game, not a side smash. Just like that. Pac-Man seemed to have a lot of love for jumping on top of Mr. Game & Watch. This also seems like a very interesting stage. A long legacy. It seems like we're fighting with the original game characters. Like, we fought Pac-Man. We're fighting Duck Hunt now. Speaking of Duck Hunt, Has a couple of powerful moves, but it only matters if you can land the hits. Duck Hunt definitely has some pretty strong moves. A lot of explosives. Mario and Luigi. And they're not on the same team because they're causing damage to each other. Actually, that kind of makes sense. So what's interesting about this stage is that if you casually walk off, you actually won't die. Unless your health, your percentage is at a certain level. That's odd. Luigi definitely should have died. I'm not like that, Luigi. What? I had hit him so many times off screen, and he came back on the other side. I thought I understood that stage. If you hit someone with enough force, and the percentage is at a high enough level, they're just gonna go flying off. Ready? Go! We're fighting Donkey Kong, which makes sense, because he's also an original. Just be careful on this stage, because you can go flying. What? I went through that platform. You cannot tell me I did not go through the platform. Wow, that one was awesome by me. Get up here already, Donkey Kong. Jeez. I haven't even really died because of this DK. I died because I went through the stage. Mario, die and get off the stage. Mario's my ally, but jeez. He blocked so many of my attacks because of my short-rangedness. That annoyed me. Mr. Game & Watch. Ready? Go! I'm pretty annoyed, actually. That gave me a 1.0 shoot up. I think so far there's only been one character who could not touch the second row of orbs. No idea why. Oh my gosh. Is it noticeable that I'm done with Mr. Game & Watch already? I don't like Mr. Game & Watch, and it's for the fact that he has such short-ranged abilities. When you can get him moving like this, absolutely, he'll look like he's the best character ever. I'm so annoyed. I don't like 75M in any form. It is way too open of a stage. If that makes sense. There's way too many gaps to jump between. We're dealing with both hands again. Because what a surprise. They have like 12 bosses that they could have chosen from, but they choose to use the original Master Hand and Crazy Hand for basically every fight. That's a terrible combo. I'm done with Mr. Game & Watch. I don't like playing as him. And it's mostly because I don't play as him regularly. But if this is my experience I'm having with Mr. Game & Watch in Classic Mode, why would I play with him competitively? I don't know. These are just my feelings on Mr. Game & Watch. I didn't even get to talk about his moves, and of course I got hit with that shockwave again. Mr. Game & Watch's standard B move is called Noodle. It is, or Chef. Mr. Game & Watch becomes the Chef Game and tosses noodles. His up B is Parachute, which allows him great height and a light drift. Side B is Judge, and down B is, I believe, called Bucket. And you can absorb projectiles for up to 3 charges and then dump it out against another player. No, oil panic, I think, is what it's called. This annoys me. Started at 5.0, I was doing very well, and I end at 7.0 because of awful gameplay. I don't like Game & Watch. He's a cool character to have included. I don't play as him because I just don't like the moveset. He's very short-ranged, and his strength just doesn't appeal to me for his combat style. If you like Game & Watch, awesome. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Classic Mode. If you liked what you saw, including my awful fails, please leave a like, mash the like button, leave a comment in the comment section below, and subscribe if you have not, for staying up to date with more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate content. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we take on the first Super Smash Bros. Brawl character that was introduced, Meta Knight. I'll see you guys then.
Final results.